let me get this straight now. There's going to be a big march.
Aye, Mother.
On a Monday.
We'll get the sack. Not if all the mills turn out.
Scum. That's what they are, scum.
Aye, they are that, sir. Liberty or death!
Liberty or death!
This concerns neither liberty nor freedom. The remedy, gentlemen, is the iron hand of the law.
King and country!
The thing about Peterloo is that it is extraordinary how many people in the UK don't really know what it's about, or indeed have never actually heard of it.
Troop will advance!
Straight away, you're like, how do I not know about this? How is this not something that I've been told about? It's such a huge, awful thing that happened.
This will not end well. Light, please!
I know they don't know about it, because I'd tell Peter to say, what you're doing, and say, oh, we're doing a film about Peterloo Massacre. Oh, what's that?
This is what's so brilliant about this film, it's bringing it back. And you don't have to look too deeply to see the comparisons to today.
The tragedy of the Peterloo Massacre is the tragedy of many movements that have happened across history and across the world.
In real life, they say the whole thing lasted 10, 15 minutes, and then there was suddenly nothing, everything was quiet, and the sun, there was this sort of blazing August sun was shining down on it.
In a nutshell, in 1819, people who were not property owners, either landowners or householders, had no right to have the vote in this country.
One man, one vote. Parliamentary representation. Preposterous proposition.
And in the middle of Manchester, there was an area called St Peter's Field. It was a place where political meetings and gatherings had happened for quite a long time. In St Peter's Field, a massive demonstration, principally and primarily for the vote, was put down illegally by the authorities. 700 people were injured and nobody's too sure, 15, 16 or 17 people were killed. It was nicknamed Peterloo because the Battle of Waterloo happened 4 years earlier, and it was seen as another battle, another massacre like Waterloo, and it became known very quickly as Peterloo.
Okay, stand by, here we go. And action!
After Mr. Turner, Mike came to me with a little folded up piece of paper of a computer printout with some information on Peterloo, and he gave it to me and said, that's what I want to do next. I read it and was completely hooked. I thought, this is fantastic. It's a really great idea for a film. It's obviously the most ambitious project we've ever done. We had 160 cast members and massive crowd scenes. It's obviously a daunting task, but we're really pleased with how it turned out.
Get back to your husbands! Yay!
I sort of had the notion a long time ago that somehow that maybe there was a film, but I didn't really think about it seriously until relatively recently. And it suddenly occurred to me that the bicentenary in 2019 was going to happen. And I suddenly realised the contemporary relevance of this expression of democracy and the way that it was actually sat on.
You will, I doubt not, feel a just indignation at the attempts which have been made to take advantage of the distresses of the country for the purpose of exciting a spirit of sedition and violence.
What right do these men have with this money when those they have robbed are starving for want?
They have no right at all!
The distress of the people is too great to be removed by any power other than that of Parliament.
Stirrings of the Peterloo Massacre occur at the termination of the Napoleonic Wars. Britain had been at war with France for 20 years, and the end of the war, you'd think, would bring peace and plenty.
And you were?
But in fact, there was lots of mass unemployment amongst the military. There were disastrous harvests. Bread was expensive. It was hitting the poorest hardest.
Annie, please. I can't. People were dying on the streets. People couldn't eat. The country was in a mess. And, you know, there was ripples throughout the world that revolution was on the rise.
In Manchester and the surrounding towns of Lancashire, there is a sickness, a dangerous threat of rampant insurrection.
Indeed, sir.
The country was in a state of unrest. You see, all the soldiers had come back from Waterloo, and Parliament's big fear was the French Revolution.
And the French Revolution inspired people on the left and terrified the authorities.
Absolutely. I mean, that was it. Any kind of working class organisation was a threat to them.
My lords, I have one of the most important communications that has ever been made to Parliament.
We must punish our mad king and his gluttonous offspring by taking off their heads!
There's a lot to take from it on a lot of different levels. Beyond the obvious statement about democracy and people's rights and tolerance, it's there for people to react to in a variety of nuanced ways. And it seems from the reaction so far that people are emotionally stunned by it, that they are moved by it. It makes a lot of people cry, it makes them angry, all of those things.
You will not silence our cause!